Good morning. I'm presenting Shona's story, Finding Success with a Lifelong Disability, which examines how early intervention and family advocacy enabled an individual born with hearing impairment to achieve professional success at the CDC. This presentation covers 9 sections, introducing to early hearing detection, case study examination, diversity challenges, inspirational elements, lessons learned, preventative strategies, conclusions, some critical questions, and references. We'll systemically analyze how early intervention transforms developmental trajectories for children with disabilities. Approximately 1 to 3 infants per thousand are born with hearing impairment in the United States, affecting language development and academic achievements. The CDC Early's Hearing Detection and Intervention Program mandates universal screening at birth, diagnosis by 3 months, and intervention by 6 months because birth through 36 months constitutes the critical neuroplasticity window, according to the American Speech Language Hearing Association. Children receiving early intervention, they demonstrate significantly superior outcomes compared to those diagnosed later, preventing irreversible developmental delays. Shauna and her sister, Shireen, they were both born hard of hearing, but initially undetected until their uncle observed Shireen's speech delays and failure to respond to auditory stimuli, prompting the evaluation that led to both sisters' diagnosis. This early detection enabled comprehensive interdisciplinary intervention, including audiology, speech therapy, counseling, and specialized education that proved transformative. Today, Shona, she serves as a CDC epidemiologist within the EHDI program that facilitated her own developmental success, exemplifying how beneficiaries of effective intervention become very powerful service providers. Despite early intervention, Shona encountered substantial challenges rooted in ableism, systemic discrimination against individuals with disabilities, creating barriers at individual, institutional, and societal levels. She likely experienced stereotyping, assuming diminished cognitive capacity, prejudice through social exclusion, and microaggressions and systemic barriers, including inadequate accommodations in, for instance, educational and workplace environments, which limited cultural competency. Additionally, the individuals with disabilities, they frequently internalize oppressive messages, experiencing pressure to conceal disability and that compulsive overachievement to counteract presumed incompetence. The most compelling aspects in Shona's cyclical journey from intervention beneficiaries to service provider, as she now works for her very EHDI program that enabled her developmental success. And this also demonstrates that disabilities do not constrain potential when proper systemic support system exists, and individuals who lived experience bring in valuable perspectives to service provisions. So her professional presence challenges pervasive stereotypes, while her uncle's initial advocacy created a ripple effect, changing two sisters' lives and now impacting thousands of children annually through her epidemiological work. The paramount lesson is the critical significance of family advocacy, as Shireen's parents, they failed to recognize hearing impairment, while their uncle's observation and willingness to express concern initiated the diagnostic cascade that transformed both children's trajectories. This case actually demonstrates that family members beyond parents often possess comparative developmental framework that enable detection of pathology, requiring healthcare professionals to listen seriously to all family observations. So, as future healthcare professionals, we must create clinical environments where extended family, childcare providers, educators, they feel psychologically safe, raising developmental concerns, recognizing that universal screening protocols actually exist precisely because even vigilant families, they cannot reliably detect all developmental pathology. So preventative future barriers, they require comprehensive multi-level systemic interventions, including mandated universal newborn screening with robust follow up accessible regardless of insurance or socioeconomic status, and healthcare professional education integrating developmental surveillance and disability cultural competency. Public health initiatives, they must implement awareness campaigns educating communities about developmental milestones, while early intervention services, they require infrastructure investment, eliminating wait lists, and ensuring geographic accessibility with financial support for assistive technology. So combating systemic albinism, they demands are proactive interventions, including mandatory disability inclusion education, intentional media representation, rigorous enforcement of workplace accommodations, and comprehensive family support through peer mentorship programs and culturally responsive care models. In conclusion, Shauna's case powerfully demonstrates that early detection during the critical 0 to 36-month window produces transformative developmental outcomes. Her journey from diagnosed infants to CDC epidemiologist illustrates actually how family advocacy, comprehensive interdisciplinary intervention, and systemic supports enable individuals with disabilities to achieve unlimited potential despite encountering substantial ableism rooted barriers. Healthcare professionals, they must cultivate systemic developmental surveillance protocols while creating clinical cultures validating family concerns, recognizing that universal screening represents essential public health infrastructure and evidence-based intervention combined with inclusive systems unlocks the human potential. This analysis yields several critical insights. Early intervention during the critical neuroplasticity window of 0 to 36 months produces significantly superior outcomes. Family advocacy from extended networks can actually alter developmental trajectories where parents they lack recognition of pathology. Systemic supports they enable individuals with disabilities to achieve unlimited potential, and beneficiaries of effective intervention frequently become powerful advocates and service providers. Healthcare professionals they must cultivate systemic protocols for developmental surveillance while simultaneously creating clinical cultures that validate family concerns. Universal screening program represents essential public health infrastructure. Shona's narrative exemplifies the profound impact of evidence-based intervention combined with family support and inclusive systems. A model demonstrating that disability need not constrain human potential when society provides appropriate structural support. This analysis generated three critical questions warranting further inquiry. First, what specific accommodations and assistive technologies did Shona utilize throughout her educational and professional trajectory, and how can understanding these inform best practices? Secondly, what psychological and identity developmental processes did she navigate as an individual with hearing impairment in society? Third, what systemic barriers persist within the EHDI itself, including disparities by race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and geography? And how is Shona leveraging her position to address these ongoing challenges? Here is a slide of my complete citations provided. Thank you so much for your attention. And I hope you enjoyed it.